Welcome to Sports News Reviews, Tuesday night's analysis of NFL news. So, right off the bat, we start off with the Bronco Wire, which has an article that says that there's two players. Or was it Broncos? Broncos made two roster moves on Monday, so that's yesterday. Looks like the Denver Broncos made a pair of roster moves on Monday. First, the team signed wide receiver J.J. Koski, Koski, to a 1 year contract as a wide. He played football at California Polytechnic, Cal Poly, as they call it. Okay, so Koski appeared on the Los Angeles Rams in 5 games in 2021, but there had to be a second move, unfortunately, for this player, which is inside linebacker Way Wilborn. They had to make room for Koski. Now, that's only the team's 90-man offseason roster is now full. Oh wow! I just read that real quickly, and I didn't realize that it's the team's 90-man offseason roster. Okay, now not even making the 53 yet. They're not having cuts. Will be another day. But yes, uh, he didn't even have it. They must have had too many linebackers. It's kind of like some mercy on the player that if you release the inside linebacker that isn't going to make the 53-man roster or even the Paxton squad at this point because there's too many inside linebackers possibly, and they might have a chance to go somewhere else if they need to be if they to make some other team, but they're interested in this player 1 year deal, which who knows what is it really a 1 year deal in the NFL? There's it's just in this day and age, if I was uh, starting out in this world, 19 years old and 20, let's say 20 years old, and trying out for an NFL team, and they give me a 1 year contract to sign, I know I'm not getting it. It's not like I'm going to get paid a full season, possibly if I don't make the team. There's so like it's just to see an NFL contract is probably just it would be a 5 part series in itself on what is a real contract in the NFL, like what we think of the layman's term of a contract and what it really is, like how the team can release a player they don't really care, they're just a roster spot fill. They're releasing that player and making room for the next player to sign, because remember the like if there was no collective bargaining agreement with like as in the what do they call it, the player salary cap, some teams that are flush with money would just constantly be throwing money out, just signing players, and not worried and even saying, well, even if we'll even pay you for the full season even if you don't play this, because they have the money to have people just the best of the best try out, and they're going to get the best of the best, period. But in this world that's the collective bargaining agreement with the salary cap, you have to cut a player to and you cut players that's in their contract that can be released anytime due to not performance based, as in they haven't been playing them, so they'll just release them, and that's it. There's no other pay in the future because they need that salary cap money for the next player that they sign. There's a lot of moves being made right now, and an NFL team is got the what they call the strategy room full of accountants, and now of course with analytics of people just like who do they move? Who can they afford to move right now? Based like not so much 1%, 100% talent, but of just they're going to be able to use that player, or are they better off with someone else signing someone else? And it's I I guess in one of those courses you should take as if anyone. This is my own personal opinion. If anyone wants to take be a coach, learn sports psychology and how to deal with players emotionally that are like their whole lives are just like shattered when they're being released. You could count it from a high school team to a college team to especially in the pros. That's where it really falls hard. But I know it's not easy when a player gets released. I mean, for the player that's being released in his household, it can't be any fun. I mean that's the human element of it. Now, come game time on a Thursday night, say like Thursday night football or Sunday afternoon football, come game time, well, that's what the whole season, the preseason was for, was to let's get the team. We have to have a team. We have to put a team out there of 53 players, and these are the players that would be dressed. I always didn't think of that when I was a young person. I always, for me, whenever I was young, I used to just like, let's just say like 10 years old or something like that. Or 11, 12. I I would just think that players on the team, they're on the team equally on the team like everyone else is on the team. Uh, I knew the difference back in the day of your say for like I remember Joe Ferguson, quarterback for the Bills. I know he was more important than say someone that's the 53rd player this of the team, but being that he's the quarterback, of course. But it's just I almost thought they were equally in contract too. It's it's just later on in life. Like I think it was past when I was 20 years old, when information was easily more spread, more sports shows on the side. Of course, with the internet, it really helped. Of course, I am talking on the internet, which is amazing technology in itself that I could do this show on my own studio. I don't want. I know I don't. I said this over before. I don't want to show my face, and I don't. I just like hiding behind the white screen over here. Just lying down with a microphone, and the best thing I have to find is the microphone has to be really close to the mouth. I mean, it's on a stand, like I got it, so I could lie down, do this show because I can't do this show sitting down like I used to even anymore. Anyway, so uh, it's not easy being cut from. That is the human element of the game. And I remember like in Hard Knocks, they're not showing players being cut anymore. I don't like. I don't want to see that. That's too much reality. That hurts. That just hurts to see someone. They just it's NFL, like to be able to play NFL football. To some people, it's not some kind of I might as well play football and get some money because that's more money I'll ever make in my life kind of. I mean, those are rare because you got to be good. You got to actually like the sport to be good at it. And it's like they're just it's more than a calling, like you can you're always like it's like it's it's a matter of opinion that someone else's opinion that you could be on a team or just finding the right spot. There's so many variables to playing in an NFL team that it just hurts to for like people that are facing reality that they're not going to be able to play football for a career choice. Then I was saying about the injury earlier. Okay, Cleveland Browns tackle placed in concussion protocol and more updates. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski announced that starting offensive tackle Jack Conklin will be out due to being placed in the concussion protocol, along with the other injury updates from yesterday. Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski announced that starting right tackle Jack Conklin has been placed in concussion protocol. While this obviously means that he'll be out of the team's joint practice session against the Eagles today, he will have plenty of time to return before the start of the regular season. Ouch! Ouch! Concussion protocol. That's that's the one good thing about the NFL is the concussion protocol. They're getting a lot better at it. I mean, just before I just couldn't believe before they were like in my day when I was a young person, if being like I said, if I was 21 years old back in the day, and I'm talking way back in the day, I think no, when I was 21, bell bottoms just no bell bottoms were out. I think bell bottoms are making a comeback, which and I'd wear them if I was a young person. You gotta be young, get away with it. But anyways, so no, that's um, yeah. Even in my time, it would have been just shake it off, walk it off is injury like an injury like a ankle or something like that, a sprained ankle is to walk it off. And that one is to shake it off, quote unquote. Like I remember correctly, and I think I've had concussions in my lifetime playing sports. Like it does. I don't mean like professional. Like most people think, like oh yeah, it has to be a professional player. Like especially in my day, oh you got to be a professional to get a head injury like concussion, or no car crash is. You can get a car person can get a car crash. You can get in a car in a concussion in a car crash if they hit their head against something hard. Remember, it's just an abrupt stop for the in the brain. Does it either does a touch of swelling or just hits the skull like lining? It's complicated what a concussion is, but the point being is, I remember, I remember I had these headaches. I'm talking just playing pickup sports, and I'd have a headache. Um, I thought that was part of the game. Yeah, and the reflecting back on it, I, I, I'm thinking like, I'm just say I'm like 12 years old, and like we still have like, man, like, let's see, yeah, I was, oh, I was, yeah, Jimmy Carter was still president when I was 12 years old. Yeah, so now we're talking like at that time, uh, if I was just playing pickup football and we were like tackling and all of a sudden I got like say I got tackled and then I hit my head on the ground, being on the grass on the lawn. Um, After a few plays, if I still had a headache, and then after the game, I remember having this really bad headache, and I thought that was part of the game, like isn't like not strategy, but oh, that's just how it's supposed to be. That means you actually played a game. But of course, I probably went to school the next day, so there was no contact after that. So that's the biggest difference between a sports injury when you're very young and you just kind of you don't have contact after that. But uh, but it's like you, we, it's a learning process, and people have to suffer deeply to learn from others that head traumas are not fun. They're best to be dealt with properly because there's especially it's not about a career, it's about a life ahead of a person. Uh, you know, Okay, this is. I didn't know that this is breaking news for me. I didn't even realize that. But the, did I know that the Patriots signed Ezekiel Elliott? But some fans believe Bills GM looks like a genius after Patriots signed Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, so Lucy, some explaining needs to be done here because this isn't worthy of a celebration, but Buffalo thinks it is. Okay. With divisional rivalries, especially like one between the Bills and the Patriots, often small victories are labeled as some of the part of the domination, and even if it doesn't add up to one, I don't see how it adds up to one. That's the case with the Buffalo fans who are proclaiming a win over New England after they signed Ezekiel Elliott yesterday to a 1 year deal. Okay, I am doing. Okay, I'm reading it more, and it's like it says, "How exactly is this a win?" You ask. But according to some Bills fans, team's general manager Brandon Beane appears to have pulled a Bill Belichick move this offseason with the running backs he signed and the amount their contracts are worth. I guess I see where it's. I don't want to read on because I have to stop. I have to pause the video to read on again. But I'm my guess is that you spent so much money on a running back like Ezekiel Elliott, whereas the Bills probably got a few for the same price, or two, two running backs for the same price, but they're not Ezekiel Elliott. So, and there's the room for it. Like, if there's one thing the Bills didn't have is they don't have room for an Ezekiel Elliott. What the Buffalo Bills like to have is this. To me, I'll pause it and I'll see if I'm right on this one. But I'll pause it in a second and see if I'm right. That to me, okay, would I like to have Ezekiel Elliott if I'm on the Buffalo Bills? Yes, I would love to have Ezekiel Elliott on the team. But as far as the was the call we once again the salary cap issues. Okay, let's throw that out. Let's not add the salary cap issues. Yes, I would sign Ezekiel Elliott to a minimum, at least a 1 year deal. Give it a try with guaranteed money if I have the money to pay for it. If I'm a team owner, even if it doesn't work out, I mean, guaranteed. I'd give him a guaranteed base salary for the year to play for the Buffalo Bills if it wasn't cap issue. Now, but I just I'm so confused on how it's a victory. I gotta have to pause it to read more, and then I'll see. Read a little bit more, and yeah, even this author of this article is saying to to uh, to equate to somehow concluding that they somehow get a win over the Patriots because of Elliott's contract seems like a bit of a reach. I totally agree with it. Just the Minnesota Vikings making news has ventured into making a late addition to the training camp roster with less than a month before final countdown day. The final countdown, cut down. Nah, that's Europe, eh? The final countdown. Okay, Minnesota hosted former Cleveland Browns running back Kareem Hunt for a visit on Friday, August 12th. A 2017 third round pick, Hunt Hunt earned Pro honors this rookie season with the Kansas City Chiefs and made over 17 million in his career as a reliable 1-2 punch with the Browns. Nick Chubb. You know, Vikings head coach Kevin O'Donnell. Okay, my guess is this: they say that the running back now, folks. This is the sports news reviews personal commentary on the whole running back issue. Is not to overblow the situation. It's not that teams don't want running backs. It's about the analytics of running backs. That if if you could get almost a good enough performance with one player, that's worth 3 players, you're gonna like you could sign it for 1/3 the cost. Then you could go out and get maybe 2 other supporting running back, a fullback and a slot back for the running back, as in just one straight out running back. It's all about the analytics of running back. Okay, now it's catching analytics is catching up with the contracts coming up. That's what it's just has. Okay, now the analytics part is like a lot of old school coaches won't admit that they like analytics. For some reason, they're gonna say, no, we just we don't really acknowledge that they don't even. They acknowledge they have an analytics team? Yeah, if they're pressed for it, yes, we have an analytics team. Uh, some coaches will gung ho say, we love our analytics, and then they don't even use it. This and that, this too scared, whatever. So every coach is different. It's just a matter of like, do you trust the analytics that the person is getting? That I always say trust the analytics too. I mean, you can it could go. I know this is about NFL news, but it does start with the movie Moneyball, which is baseball and the Oakland Athletics. I mean, uh, I don't know how much of the story is true in Moneyball. Like, I'd like to watch a special one day on how much of Moneyball was ad libbed at this time, or scripted in. But there is the scene where some uh, like veteran scout wants to talk with the coach. Sorry, general manager. Not, the general manager, not the manager, and that would I forget his name now, but the it was played by Brad Pitt. Now, I don't know how he like equated that we're it's like you know what you're doing with this. He didn't even like. It's like you can't convince people when they're on like say like the Brad Pitt's character in the movie, and in real life he's like, we have to do this because we are a very small market team compared to other Major League Baseball teams, and we all we have is a budget that we're projecting that how many buns in the seats, as they say, will be able to afford this team. I mean, the idea of having a baseball team, well, of course, it's always to make money, but you got to equate it. And that was the start of like uh, they, the start of the analytics world of ooh, people are taking notice. I mean, if it's working for the Oakland Athletics. I mean, you you take the good and take the bad with it. Just go with it. So like you gotta. My thing is that you gotta say that you gotta try it out, right? Give it reflection, and to think you can't use analytics today, it's fine. Don't. I think it's a folly on the team's part that doesn't use analytics at all. Do they have to use analytics 100%? No, I wouldn't say you have to. You just try a mixture of both, but you can't just poo poo it because you want things the way that you want it to be. I mean, nothing's going to be the same the way it is. Everything's changing. So, like, I just looking more at the article, and it's another running back had to take second team reps. Now, like I said, it's just the world is in a constant change of flux, and if you don't change with it, then you're gonna, like they said, you might be the old expression. If you listen to the fans too much, you might have to buy a ticket to your next game to watch the next game and sit with them. And that's the way analytics is too. You can in today's world you can say, oh, I have nothing to do with analytics, but then okay, if you're very very successful and never used analytics, fine. That's I didn't like I never would ever say you have to use analytics or you don't have to use analytics. I'm just saying use it to the discretion how you interpret it and what you want to do with it. That's all. So, all right, we got some fun news for Aaron Rodgers coming to Jets has been better than I expected. I should have read that wrong. Okay, so it says when Aaron Rodgers emerged from his darkness retreat this offseason, that's where the fun is. Okay, we got fun. He targeted the Jets as the team he wanted to play for the season and made the move for the AFC East club when the Packers worked out a trade with his new club shortly before the draft. But during an appearance on WFAN on Tuesday morning, Rodgers was asked if his first few months with the Jets had lived up to what he had in mind. Rodgers said that it had been better than I was even daydreaming about, sitting in the hole in the ground thinking about what my life could be. Okay, that one you he's gonna run with it. He is gonna run with that darkness retreat. He knows people are having a good chuckle, like me. I'm having too good of a chuckle with that. Every time he says that, I just have a good chuckle. And he's given other like real like the real sports announcers and sports news analysis. Like I'm talking the real McCoys, as they say, the real deals. Like the ones that are in NFL Network and all. It gives them something to chuckle at. But it actually honestly when I read it, it just overlined with the out of the darkness retreat. That just brings a chuckle first. It's doing it right now. And keeping with the tradition of the Bills and Packers trades, which I hardly see happen. But NFL Green Bay Packers Jordan Love gets weapons in trade. Idea with I didn't see the word idea. Green Bay Packers Jordan Love gets weapon in trade idea with Buffalo Bills. It's not a trade. I just hate when I do that to myself. I didn't read it. Yeah, I read that too quickly. I was so excited that I actually thought there was a trade between the Green Bay Packers and the Buffalo Bills, which there is not a trade. It's just an idea. But getting back to the running back analytics, Raiders legend calls Josh Jacobs' situation almost like collusion. I see. One of the greatest running backs in NFL history isn't happy about what has happened to the position. I respect his opinion 100%. I mean, Marcus Allen, one of the greatest running backs in NFL history, Raiders history. I respect his opinion 100%. But I could be the total, like, like, how do you say, like, the guy who's what is it? Makes it rain on his parade. Kind of. Well, not really rain. This is not the right analogy, but I, I gotta say, well, Marcus, you would have been fine in today's NFL with your career. It just would have been hard to swallow that you're not gonna make 15 million. You're only gonna make 10 million, or that's a $4 million. It's a 4 million hit on the salary, the base salary. That that he that's it's more like I think it's just a feeling of the what Marcus Allen could do in an NFL where after 6 seasons, uh, you're not getting you're not getting the 18 million a year payout you expected. You're only getting 8 million or 9 million, and meanwhile, a tight end or a wide receiver or a defensive end is gonna get more when his rookie contract is up. Be- Even though you seem to be more valuable to the team, but they're gonna base it. Well, we could just sign another running back for this amount of money, but I just I'm gonna pause and read the whole article, but I know how he feels as a personal note that how would he would have never been able to would he but those were different times. Marcus Allen made a lot because of the times, and comparatively speaking, yeah, I I think it's I I don't. I know what he's feeling like. They're just people are just jumping on this quote unquote bandwagon that you don't really need a really good running back, just a mediocre running back that you could pay for a third of the price. Which I don't believe in that 100%. I mean, you got it. New England, yes, they need running backs. Yes, they do, badly because you got to take the pressure was Mac Jones, quarterback. I mean, he could throw less, and it's nothing on Mac Jones. It's just the way it's just the way the way the world is in the NFL. The less you throw, the better you could be better off because they don't expect to throw. But I mean, there were games where I seen, and like last year, the Bills they had trouble against a run. I mean, you you're gonna get a couple of quick, good first downs from a run because of the lineup and personnel matchups. Uh, they yes, we all. I know. I'm very sure the Buffalo Bills are an organization that doesn't need my opinion whatsoever. But I just put it out there saying that, like, yeah, there were a couple of games I seen that the run was they were hard to stop the run. So yes, there is going to be. Uh, of course, New York Jets would like to get a running back too. Once again, if you're going to beat the Bills, you're going to try to beat them on the run with a running back and fullbacks and slot back out of the receiver position because out of the backfield because you got to they're putting all their skill set out there to stop the run, stop the pass. They're neglecting the run, and of course that's just my opinion. And it says here now that Denver Broncos need to pursue this free agent kicker immediately. Why this free kicker? The Denver Broncos kicking situation was a bit rough last year with Brandon McManus in their first preseason game that didn't seem to change. The team needs to pursue a certain free agent kicker. Former kicker Brandon McManus was horrifically inaccurate last year and was one of the most inaccurate kickers in the entire NFL. It didn't really matter, but it didn't help. I mean, that just really hurted the team last year when they were struggling, and then you couldn't even get 3 points. So, as as far as Denver Broncos, yeah, they need to. Their article is saying about getting Robbie Gould for a year. Nice choice, I guess, if you have to get a veteran kicker and you want to. But kicking is not easy, and it never has been easy. And I didn't, I didn't know that Calvin Cook signing with the Jets ex-Vikings running back joined New York on a one-year deal reportedly worth up to 8.6 million. I didn't know. I didn't know. Dalvin Cook has a new home in the NFL. The four-time Pro Bowler running back is planning to sign a one-year contract with the New York Jets, according to CBS Sports NFL insiders Jonathan Jones and Josina Anderson. The deal is worth up to 8.6 million per per. Cook seemingly confirmed the news by retweeting NFL's social media post announcing NY's newest running back. Okay. Once again, NFC, I mean, sorry, AFC East, beware. The Jets have a running back. So, yes, it's going to make it tough once again for the Buffalo Bills, who, the Jets are aiming for the Bills' top spot to, because if you could, it could be so tight this year between the Patriots, Bills, Dolphins, Jets, that you might want to win the division outright so you don't have to worry about trying for that elusive uh, wild card spot. You don't, you just don't. They say you don't really want to go for the wild card spot. It's because there might be other teams that might beat, like they could end up beating each other in the division so much that a San Diego Charger team can come out of nowhere and be a wild card team. And of course, but you got your teams that are gonna, like, they have to make the perfect example is the AFC in the South, where it's like the the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. That's a division you have to win outright because you might not get enough wins to make a wild card. So that's, like, last year was very exciting to watch. Like the goosebumps, as they say, was before the game even started. The chills of that winner of this game is guaranteed to be the the, uh, the divisional champ, where they can they get their ticket in the playoffs, whereas the other team, good luck, and then they're not going to make the wild card round. So, yeah, any advantage you can get if you're the Jets, and that's including running back, take some pressure off of Aaron Rodgers. Yes, Buffalo Bills, and this is a Bills backer, of course, is going, yeah, it's it's not a gimme. It's not a gimme that the Bills will be winning the division. It's more as they have to earn it. And like that, it was like that old commercial. I forget for what agency it was, for like the investment firm, and we do it the old-fashioned way. We earn it, and that's how Buffalo's gonna have to do it. They're gonna have to earn it every game. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be because the lack of talent and winning on the other teams anymore. It's just, there's just gonna be so much. Now, even as a Bills backer, the Bills lose the Jets, which I don't see them losing. But they're not by. I don't know if they're gonna win by more than 6. Can they win more than a touchdown? I don't know, but it could be that close. And for it could even be like a 12-point game where there's those weird kind of situations where it's a 12-point game win, but the other team didn't really seem like they were in it all the time. They scored. It was just the inept of the offense. So yes, anything can happen, of course, as soon as it's kickoff. Monday night is the big one. That is a super big game. Monday Night Football. Buffalo Bills. New York Jets. I'm going to live stream that game, which I could see a lot of people live streaming that game. I'm only doing Buffalo Bills live stream NFL. That's it. I'm only doing Buffalo Bills, and in the CFL, I'm only doing the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Now, okay, and this is one also. This is one also for the preseason news only. Arizona Cardinals pass rush showed promise during the preseason opener. Yes, when you had the was it the departure of what is it? You had the departure of Zach Allen and the retirement of J.J. Watt. Yeah, you're really looking for some pass. I mean, you as a team, the Arizona Cardinals are really looking for some pass rushers, and if this is this the war. This is this is our Arizona Cardinals. What they wore is here's what they wore on the game. I guess this is what they wore. I said it before. I guess I said it before. Is that with Arizona, it's really hard. I'm not hard. It's really easy to go retro, except they would have had white pants. Like they don't really have to do much to go retro. Yeah, if you white helmet with a red shirt, no stripes on, except no stripes, red shirt, and except the red pants, they would have had white pants at the time. So that would make it the complete retro look just by adding white pants. That's it's but yes, looks like they're gonna. What is Arizona Cardinals in a what's they say in a nutshell? A team looking for identity. They're not sure either. I don't think they're sure. Alrighty, that was Tuesday night's analysis of some NFL news, and there is no game tonight. Of course, they should try to do a playoff. I'm sorry, playoff. Do a preseason game on Tuesday night. What the heck? But I got I got some Tuesday night listings here that the games have been played. Now, of all teams, it's funny to mention this one. 1941, the Cleveland Rams were 10, and the Chicago Cardinals 6. Yes, you heard that. That's right. The Rams used to play in Cleveland, and the Cardinals used to play in Chicago. Yes, which they both coincidentally went to St. Louis, which they both left. Okay, okay. It's such. And then in 19 that was 1941. In 1944, the Philadelphia Eagles 28 and the Boston Yanks Yanks 7. And I'm not your chain. That is the name of the team, the Boston Yanks, not Yankees, Yanks. Yeah, that's right, the Boston Yanks. The home stadium was Fenway Park. They ceased to exist after 1948 season, and probably after this game too. 28-7. Wow. Okay, another weird one. In 1945, the Brooklyn Tigers, the Boston Yanks. Okay, I guess they became the Boston Yanks, the Brooklyn Tigers. Wow. How much memorabilia does anyone have from the Brooklyn Tigers? Wow. The Brooklyn Tigers, Boston Yanks. 28 beat the Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, 7. I'm totally shocked that they won. Oh, oh, they filled two teams because of World War II. There's two teams that had to fill a roster. But the Brooklyn Tigers. It was the Brooklyn Tigers. They were going to be called the Stardinos. Good call. They didn't call it that. To the Brooklyn Tigers, but I'm gonna have to go back to that one to see what is left of the Brooklyn Tigers. Here's something another one that the Yanks are involved. 1946, the New York Giants and the Boston Yanks. New York Giants 16, the Boston Yanks 0. This was the last NFL football game to be played on a Tuesday for nearly 6 decades. Wow. Looking at the. Okay, let's see. And then we have to go to 2010. The Minnesota Vikings 24 and the Philadelphia Eagles 14. After the miracle at the New Meadowlands the week prior put the Eagles in playoff contention, the league flexed this game from 1 p.m. to the night game. They shouldn't have. A blizzard developed days before the game and was scheduled to hit around the end of the game. Rightfully worried about safety, the league decided to postpone the game to Tuesday. Okay. Minnesota, that was the third straight game and had changed on them because the snow, the Metrodome roof collapsed due to heavy snow. Okay. So the Minnesota Vikings 24, the Philadelphia Eagles 14. After that, there was the 2020, the Tennessee Titans 42, the Bills 16. Oh, I forgot about that one. The first COVID-19 Tuesday game. We got a lot to thank for COVID for some in football. The Ian Book game. That was, in a weird way, like this game is probably memorable for a Tennessee Titans fan. Um, Being able to watch your team win on a Tuesday night. Okay, 2020 Tuesday Titans, Tennessee Titans 42, the Buffalo Bills 16. That was the first COVID-19. Was it a good game? It was last year. You almost certainly didn't remember it. And so Josh Allen threw two interceptions. I set the Titans in the red zone. And Andre Roberts fumbled the kickoff return. I also set up the Titans in the red zone. Matt Barkley played. Okay. And then in 2020, still, the Baltimore Ravens 34, the Dallas Cowboys 17. Andy, Andy Dalton needed 48 attempts to pass for 285 yards. At least it was over quickly, finishing under 3 hours, thanks in part to Lamar Jackson having more rushing attempts than completions, and he had completed over 70% of his passes. The Cowboys' offense crossed midfield only 4 times. 3 of those ended with a missed field goal. The Baltimore Ravens 34, the Dallas Cowboys 17 in 2020. And where's the other famous Tuesday night? Wait, there's more. Wasn't there more? And thanks to the COVID, we had the Wednesday night football game one year. So, you know, it was fun to look at those past games, but yeah, it would be interesting to be able to have two teams play on a Tuesday or a Wednesday during the season. They should think about it. Maybe like the last week of the season, two non-playoff teams playing a game. They should move their game from Sunday afternoon to Tuesday afternoon. I think both teams have nothing to look forward. They got to play this game anyways. You might as well play it on a Tuesday night. Give us something to look at before the start of the playoffs. That's just my take on it. We can flex that game in. That's going to be the weirdest flexible game. Tuesday night football, Wednesday night football, and the rarity of Friday night football too. Okay, so that has been a sports news review analysis of NFL news. Thanks for shooting by here, and I with the coach here. He was saying goodbye, coach. Coach Coyote. That's Coach Coyote saying goodbye. And we're just going to go turn on the NFL News Network after this.